Anne Shirley had a Christmas to remember her first year at Green Gables with Marilla, Matthew, and her friends. She was an orphan before, and all of a sudden she was surrounded with those who loved her and whom she loved. They even gave her gifts, something she had never experienced before. We all dream of a Christmas like Anne's, surrounded by the ones you love most, letting your imagination run wild and dancing the evening away. Grab your bosom friends and your Gilbert if you have one, and join me as I share 7 ways how you can have a memorable Edwardian Christmas just like Anne's.
I knew Matthew was up to some foolishness.
Marilla, look at the puffs.
Number 1, wear a dress with puffed sleeves. It was my goal throughout the month of December to wear puffed sleeves. A couple of them were borrowed from friends and family, some bigger puffs than others, but all lovely. So why did I wear puffed sleeves? In the 1890s, it became a popular statement. Anne wanted puffed sleeves, but Marilla said it was a ridiculous fashion statement. But finally, Matthew noticed her not looking like the other girls and went to the store to buy it for her.
I need a dress with puffed sleeves.
Puffed sleeves?
He was tongue-tied. How is this true to the Christmas spirit? He gave, even though it was hard and embarrassing. For him to ask the clerk for a dress for Anne was something that Matthew never thought of doing before. But he loved her, and that's why he gave. Anne was thrilled.
It's more exquisite than any dress I could ever have imagined.
Puffed sleeves.
Puffiest in the world.
And I'm thrilled to wear puffed sleeves too. The second way you can have an Anne of Green Gables Christmas is you can go to a ball this holiday season. Anne and Diana went to a Christmas ball in the 1993 TV series, and following suit, I decided to go to a Christmas dance with Caleb, my Gilbert, for a night.
All right, Diana, if you insist. Good evening, Gilbert Blythe.
Tell your brother I'll be seeing him at the toboggan party. Diana, you look wonderful tonight. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Gilbert.
Unlike Gilbert, Caleb did not ignore me. He actually aggressively asked me to dance.
That was so scary.
Let's try this again. That's better. At that same ball, dance with your bosom friends. And that's number 3.
I'm positively certain this will spoil everyday life forever.
It doesn't have to be a fancy ball. It can be a silly dance. But you cannot have an Anne of Green Gables Christmas without dancing with your bosom friends, your kindred spirits. Elena, Sarah, and I have been friends since college, and I know we will be friends till the day we die. Just like Di and Anne. Anne said in the book, kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world. The fourth way that you can have an Anne of Green Gables Christmas is, despite the weather, go outside. L.M. Montgomery said this in her Anne of Green Gables book. Christmas morning broke on a beautiful white world. It had been a very mild December, and people had looked forward to a green Christmas, but just enough snow fell softly in the night to transfigure Avonlea. Anne peeped out from her frosted gable window with delighted eyes. The firs in the haunted wood were all feathery and wonderful. The birches and wild cherry trees were outlined in pearl. The plowed fields were stretches of snowy dimples, and there was a crisp tang in the air that was glorious. Anne ran downstairs singing until her voice re-echoed through Green Gables. Merry Christmas, Marilla! Merry Christmas, Matthew! Isn't it a lovely Christmas? I'm so glad it's white. Any other kind of Christmas doesn't seem real, does it? We are dreaming of a white Christmas here in Oklahoma, But if it does not happen, we can use our imagination, just like Anne models throughout her early adolescence. The fifth way that you can be more like Anne this Christmas is taking care of loved ones when they are sick. Anne saved the day when Diana's youngest sister took to a fever one wintry night. My baby boy also had a fever, and it was on his first birthday. He had roseola, which is a virus that manifests as a high fever, and then it shows up as rosy spots all over once the fever breaks. As a new mother, I was terrified, but I learned so much, especially about how to care for my baby. As mothers, we get to be the hands and feet of our Lord and take care of our children. It was the best moment when Ella smiled at me for the first time after his fever broke. There is nothing sweeter than that. Which leads me to the next way that you can have an Anne of Green Gables Christmas, and that is number 5, write a poem and recite it if you feel led. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it makes a life a little bit more colorful when you write a loved one a letter or a poem. I wrote a poem to God, asking him many questions of why when Ellis was sick. It was a release when I was stricken with anxiety and fear. God didn't answer my whys, but I felt peace after I wrote it, and Ellis is now fully recovered. It doesn't have to be a sad poem, but a happy one. Anne said, "It's been my experience that you can nearly always enjoy things if you make up your mind firmly that you will." And how fun if you get to recite it to your friends like she did. Number 7, the final and last way that you can have an Anne of Green Gables Christmas is making your little community better with you being in it. This is the easiest of all the ways to be more like Anne this Christmas, because all you have to do is be you. Just like Anne, you are an important part of your circle. Avonlea didn't know what they were missing until Anne came along. The same is with you. You bring light to your town just by showing up, smiling, and being yourself. Do your Avonlea a favor and really take root. Look around you and be thankful for the people you have. And grab a kindred spirit, arm in arm, and walk life together. If we were to try to have a Christmas like Anne's, we will enter the new year feeling lighter and saying like she did. "Dear old world," she murmured, "you are very lovely, and I am glad to be alive in you." We have very exciting things coming up in our little family, and I cannot wait to share them on my YouTube channel. Just like Anne Shirley said, "Oh, it's delightful to have ambitions. I'm so glad I have such a lot. And there never seems to be any end to them, and that's the best of it. Just as soon as you attain to one ambition, you see another one glittering higher up still. It does make life so interesting." I hope you have a very merry Anne Shirley kind of Christmas and a blessed new year. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more of my videos like this. I also post face-to-face discussions about theology, homemaking, and more. Bye-bye.